I got the truck again, and all the lights are on, and I'm about to try to figure out how to do this. I am definitely jumping into the deep end of the pool, and I don't know how to swim. I've downloaded Forescan, and I got this, so I'm going to run the codes and see if I can find the module that's failing me, or what is in between the modules that is failing. I have no idea. I have a small concept of how this works. It's an advanced OBD2 reader. Yeah, so I'm pretty much going in way over my head. But I'm going to figure this out. These guys do these splices right here to splice into these wires. They unpinned this and then repinned it. Corrosion in there, and the plastic's old, so it's breaking. Corrosion, old plug, and this is what they did. A bunch of wires hangling and dangling. Here's some wires that are exposed. Just some cut up wires. They didn't fix anything. They didn't replace anything. There's nothing in here new. There's no plugs new in here. There's no wiring harness that's new in here. They didn't replace or do anything. They just plugged it together, left what the guy did on the side of the highway, changed the radiator, and charged $6,000. They didn't do anything. There's not any new plugs in here. There's no new wires in here other than these wires that are here. This plug is OEM. There's no wiring harness is new. The only thing new is the radiator up there. So they just swapped the radiator out and charged him $6,000, told the computer to turn the lights off, and then we're driving down the road and all the lights come pinging on, and then these wires are coming undone. Like this one right here is broken. I put this on here because that was broken. It's pathetic that you can't trust mechanics these days. You take your stuff to a mechanic and you think they're going to fix your stuff because you pay them $10,000. Okay, so I'm going to show you what we're dealing with. So this is the wiring harness that I'm about to pull out. And these wires were connected to these wires, which is a completely different wiring harness. So they just thought that they could use wires from here. See, they wired this to this wiring harness. Completely different wiring harnesses spliced together. So I had to cut them. So now I'm worried about this wiring harness because this wiring harness had damage too. So this is all replaced, all these pigtails. So, but I'm not pulling this wiring harness. Or am I? Yeah, I am. I pulled the whole thing, didn't I? So here's the first of the crazies. This shouldn't be that hard. Once I get into these and then get into these, I could run and see if there's connections. I'll get the diagram and then I'll check each pin to see if they're in the correct things, which I'm assuming they're probably not, because these were wired to the other harness. So these are missing something in here. So we'll have to find it and splice together what we need to splice together to whatever we need to splice. I feel like these go to here and then they go to here through pluggy. Instead they just straight wired it. So we'll fix that. These two wires are going to go onto these wires somewhere. And then these two wires are probably going to the back of this bad boy. Just like this. Okay, I see what they did to here. But this whole bad boy is about to come out. This whole wiring harness is about to come out. Oh, we're gonna have to fish this entire wiring harness out. This is nonsense. Okay, I mean they probably did most of it right, but they spliced wires into to the other wiring harness, and then I'm guarantee some grounds are not right. All right, so we ripped this harness off, and I took all the sleeving off the harness, and I have these ties from when I worked at Boeing, and I was making wiring harnesses for Boeing. Sometimes I would accidentally walk off with these, but they're being used usefully. They're silk thread with a coating on it to make them heat resistant. I'll show you how to do this. This knot allows you to tighten forever and never loosen. So you'll take it, you'll go over itself one time, around and under, and then you create two X's, like that. And then when you pull this tight, it does a friction hold and it grabs itself. So I make it tight and that won't loosen. It will loosen, but then you took and put a sutures knot on top. So two granny knots in one, so double instead of one. And then if you do that with speed, it'll lock it down. And then when we did it with the aerospace, we had to, these cuts had to be about that long. Any longer, out of compliance. Any shorter, out of compliance. But it holds your wiring harness together. And also I did this breakout here. So there's a wire that comes from this and goes to this. So what you'll do is you'll tie it together here, and then you'll do the breakout. So this whole thing goes here. But like I said, there was a wire that ran with these wires all the way back to this that breaks out to this. So you'll encompass the whole wire, and then you'll take that one wire, which is this purple one right here, and run it with this one, and then you'll do one here and one here, and that'll make your breakout. Give you a good strong breakout, and you know where it's at now. So you just go down the wire and you just put these every so often. When you're doing it in aerospace, they had a link. I don't remember what that was, but it's about what I'm doing. Kind of just doing it off muscle memory. But yeah, you go down. See how my wiring harness is all tight and natty? So now I'll just go ahead and get the plastic sleeving or the long shrink wrap and shrink wrap it up here, make a breakout. I don't have that stuff yet, so I got this wiring harness off because of this rat's nest. And see, there's damage to it. This whole wire right here is damaged. Here and here. And that could be a short to ground, or it could be a short to power, especially if it arcs over and touches other wires that are damaged like this one. See, that's not okay. That could be causing shorts. So this might be done to the right wires, but it wasn't done very good. And there's lots of damage on these wires. Look at this. I think there's damage right there. No, it's just white powder from the aluminum oxidization. But yeah, so now what we're gonna do when we get the schematics, I'll take the schematics and I'll poke the pin, and then I'll poke the pin here and see if there is a continuity between them. And if there is, then we know the wire is good all the way through. So we'll do that for each wire, find out, and then sometimes we're going to probably poke the pin in here and these wires are going to be ran wrong. That's a possibility, and that's what we're going to look for. Oh, look, here's another damaged wire. Look at that. That is bad. And it's right next to this one. So you're probably getting a short to ground, or a short to power, or just a short to another wire in general. So a lot of my work is going to be here. I'm gonna get the schematic. I'll get the schematic. It'll tell me each pin, what each pin is, and then I'll go in there and touch it to that, and then it'll tell me what pin goes to the transmission, and then we'll pick that pin and see if the wire runs. We'll do it visually too. I could probably find it visually because the wires are all different. So I can go here, find brown blue wire. It's a brown blue wire. I run it to the back of the where it's pinned. So it's pinned in, so 1, 2, 3. It's the fourth pin from the left. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's that pin. Blue brown wire. We'll go over here, and then we'll find the blue brown wire right here. And then we'll take that one's the fourth one over as well. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Stick the multimeter pin to that, and then stick the other pin to this one. And if it's got continuity, then that wire's fine. And we got to do that for each one of them. But if I get a diagram, I don't have to run wires. I can just, it'll tell me it's there. But I probably will run wires and use a diagram because I'm having the thought that these could be ran to the wrong pins. So I have to find out which each pin is, and then if these are ran to the right pin, to the right thing over here. So this is going to be messy and time consuming.